Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D, Better Off Reading Every Day. Today's book is Herb, the Vegetarian Dragon. And this book is by Jules Bass and Debbie Harder. Every dragon in the forest of B.O.R.E.D was a meat eater. Meathook was their leader. In the middle of the forest of B.O.R.E.D stood Castle Dark. There was nothing Meathook liked better than to raid the castle at night with his friends. He particularly liked the sweet taste of royal princesses, and the crispy crunch of brave knights was almost as delicious. But one dragon was different. While Meathook and his friends sat in his cave planning their next raid, Herb was happy to tend to his vegetable patch. He grew turnips and tomatoes, leeks and lettuce, cauliflower, carrots. He grew peas and parsnips, red and yellow peppers, potatoes and parsley. For Herb was a vegetarian. Late one night, the brave knights held a meeting at the castle. Bernard the Bold was their leader. The time has come to rid our forest of the fearful dragons who raid our castles, devour our people, and eat all of the best wild boar meat. Bernard declared, "We must plan a great hunt." "Death to the dragons," the knights shouted. "Now listen carefully," the dragon had decreed, "that each dragon must be captured alive." "Alive?" grumbled the knights. "Why alive?" "Alive because the dragons we find are to walk the plank into the moat of the Castle Dark for all to see." "Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!" shouted the knights. Suddenly a rush of air and the sound of wings beating brought the knights to attention. Through the windows of the high stone walls they saw a mountainous dragon fly away in front of a full moon. "A dragon fly?" cried Bernard. The dragons met in a huge hidden cave. Herb, who had not been invited, knew nothing of the knights' scheme. Meathook spoke. "My friends, the knights are planning a hunt. We'll be ready for them, won't we?" And in answer, dragons' tails pounded the earthen floor, and the cave shook with the sound of thundering evil voices. "We'll singe them, fry them, boil them in a pot, stew 'em, steam 'em, the whole juicy lot." "No," bellowed Meathook. "We shall disappear. Stay hidden in our caves. Wait them out. Then we shall attack, and then you can sing your songs." The dragons roared their approval of his plan, and their fiery tongues lashed the roof of the huge cave. As this was happening, Herb was cooking a new soup made of butter, leeks, onions, and potatoes. He licked his lips. Very tasty. I must give it a name. Herb's famous lake water veggie slurp. Herb didn't realize that he was in danger, that when the night set out, he would be the only dragon to be seen in all of B.O.R.E.D Forest. That evening, 100 knights in groups of 4 set forth on their hunt, each heading in a different direction. For 7 days and 7 nights they searched, but not a dragon was to be seen. Then, on the last day of the hunt, a group heading west saw a dragon in the distance. They knew just what to do. Herb was hoeing in his garden, quite unaware that he was being surrounded on all sides. As he bent to pull out a difficult weed, the knights pounced. Her blue flame was powerless against the chain mail mesh of their nets. His wings strained uselessly against their ropes as he was dragged away by his tail. "What have I done?" thought Herb. "Would somebody tell me?" But he couldn't speak because his jaw was bound tightly with rope. One of Meathook's spy dragons watched from a distance, peeked, then glided silently away to report what he had seen. The king ordered Herb to meet his fate at dawn in the jaws of the hungry alligators in the moat. From his small, dank, iron-barred cell, Herb could hear their horrid snapping sounds and see the wooden plank he would walk to meet his doom. Suddenly he heard a voice. "Psst, psst, psst." "Herb, you ridiculous excuse for a dragon. I have a last offer to make. We've decided to help you. I've got a dozen dragons here, ready to tear down this jail and get you out. We ask only one thing in return." "What is that?" asked Herb. "I'll do anything to save my life." "Take this," hissed Meathook, as he thrust his scarly fist up against the bars. "What's this?" asked Herb. "It's wild boar meat. Eat it and become one of us. It's a small price to pay for your freedom," he gloated, "as I'm sure you will agree." "Thanks, but no thanks," Herb said. I don't see it your way, so I'll take my chances. I don't ask you to stop eating meat, so why do you ask me to stop eating vegetables?" "Idiot," Meathook muttered as he flew off into the darkness. You can't be different in Dragon World and survive." Hundreds of people crowded around the castle moat as Herb was dragged from his cell. A rope held his jaw shut. A huge man with a long pole stepped forward. For the crimes of burning, stealing, and murdering, and to serve as an example for all who would dare to repeat these actions, this evil dragon will walk the plank and be devoured by king's alligators for all to behold. A crowd roared in approval. A drummer rolled his sticks as Herb was pulled to his feet and to the water's edge. As Herb, being pushed from behind, reached the very end of the plank, and with every 1 single second before he would drop into the swirling waters of death, a tiny voice cried out. The drumming stopped. A little girl ran down the plank and gasped and grasped the pole as Herb teetered at the edge, and the alligators awaited their meal. "This dragon is my friend. His name is Herb. I have watched him tend to his garden patch. I have played with him, and never once has he tried to harm me. He only eats vegetables. You must spare his life." "Stop," cried Bernard the Bold as he approached the little girl. How do we know what you say is true?" The little girl dragged Herb back by his tail and climbed up his scales. Before anyone could stop her, she released the ends of the rope that held his jaws closed, and they snapped open with a rush of blue flame as she perched on his head. "Nicole, get down from there," shouted a man. "It's all right, Father," said Nicole. Then she climbed right into Herb's mouth and sat there with only her legs dangling free. Herb gulped and tried to smile. "See? Now do you believe me?" cried Nicole. "He wouldn't harm anyone." As the awestruck crowd stared up at her, the silence was broken by a loud crash. Meathook, who was spying on the proceedings, had fallen out of his treetop hiding place. He lay helpless on the ground, his wings entangled in a mass of branches. At once 12 knights sprang forward and bound him with ropes. "That's one of the meat eaters," shouted the little girl as she climbed out of Herb's mouth. Feed them both to the alligators," someone yelled. "Stop," commanded the king. "There is an opportunity here. If we kill the dragons, we risk an all-out war. Many will lose their lives. You," the king said, pointing at Herb. "The child says you are a vegetarian." "By your word as a dragon, is that true?" It is, your highness. I am a herbivore. "And you, whatever your name is," the king continued. "Meathook," said Meathook, puffing up his chest. "I am a meat eater, a carnivore, like my father and grandfather before me." "Very well, Meathook. I give you a choice. I will not ask you to change your eating habits. It is your rightful choice to eat what you want. But in exchange for sparing your life, I ask that you and your dragon brothers stop feasting on my people. Stop your burning and stealing, and live in peace as Dragon Herb has done. But dragons have always burned and pillaged and devoured knights and princesses. It's what we do. We can't change." "No law has the power to change habits," the king replied. "Only you have the power to change what you are. We can all live in peace if you want to," said Herb. "Release them," commanded the king. "Dragon Herb and Dragon Meathook. I expect your answer by the end of the day." In the hidden cave, all the dragons of B.O.R.E.D met to hear of the king's offer. "It's a trick to de-dragon us," shouted one. "Better than an endless war, isn't it?" shouted another. "It's not as if we have to become vegetarians like Herb. We just have to give up eating people," said a large dragon from the rear. "Live in peace with people? I can't imagine," said another. "I wouldn't mind having a nice garden like Herb has," said one of the younger dragons. "And I'll help you if you like," offered Herb. "I'll give you some seeds and show you how to sow and reap." "We must vote on it," announced Meathook. "Now." Then all of the dragons voted, and the result of that vote recorded in the history books of Norgard. And even to this day, the story is told of how Herb, the vegetarian dragon, brought peace to the forests of Norgard, where dragons and people, meat eaters and vegetarians, live together in peace and harmony. The end, boys and girls, of Herb the Vegetarian Dragon. See all those carrots? See all those carrots there? See all those carrots? All those carrots. Carrots are actually the H in herb, the T in the V in vegetarian, and the D in dragon. Those are all carrots. Boys and girls, I chose this book because a lot of the kids, a lot of you, a lot of my children that I take care of are vegetarians. They have a vegetarian household, they have vegetarian families, and some of them are vegetarians as well, which mean that they do not eat any meat. It's the choice that they've made in their life. Boys and girls, we are all different in some way, and what we choose and what we give and feed our bodies is completely up to us. It is ours to decide, and our right, and how we want to do it. And that's how your families make a decision how they would like for their households to be run and what is going to be eaten in their household. I know that in some households they do not eat any pork, which is anything from pigs. They do not eat any beef, which is anything from cows, because the cow is sacred to them. They worship the cow. So they do not eat something that they worship, because that is someone that they look up to. So they do not eat. Kind of like when you watch these things, these shows, and they go, pets are our friends and our family, we don't eat them. People do not eat certain things that they worship. So, for many different reasons, a person may be a vegetarian. Sometimes it's for religious reasons, sometimes it's for health reasons, and sometimes it's just for a choice that they've made in their life, the way that they chose to go. And there's nothing wrong with that. I myself, I do eat meat, and I do eat fish, and I do eat a lot of vegetables. I'm not going to kid you. If I had to go vegetarian, I think I would be okay, because as it stands right now, I eat a lot of vegetables. A lot of vegetables. I think I eat more vegetables than I do meat. Yeah. But I do like my meat. I do like a burger every now and then, and I do like different things. So, like I said to you, it's a choice. Boys and girls, as you can see, my shirt says, "Where's the beef?" which is actually from Wendys. A while ago, they had a campaign where there was a lady and she'd come on and she'd go, "Where's the beef?" And that was like the commercial. She was asking, "Where's the beef?" on the hamburger. See? There's the beef. There's the beef. There's the beef. And that was kind of the commercial, "Where's the beef?" I don't know if your parents would remember it, but she had this voice and it was hilarious, and she would be like, "Where's the beef?" Anyhow, not exactly like that, but very silly. Boys and girls, it's Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. And I always want to bring stories to you that teach you a little something up here. And it gives you a little something in here, in your heart. So you're learning something and you're feeling something. That's what I try to do with every story that I read to you. And I hope that comes across, because I love teaching you something and I love showing you love. So, Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. And it has been my pleasure to read this story to you about being a vegetarian. And I have to tell you, one of the things that I could never give up is French fries. I absolutely love French fries. French fries. French fries. That's what I'm saying. They're made out of potatoes. I could live on French fries. Maybe not. Maybe not. But you never know. And here I have bananas, green bananas, which we eat in my country. We have the mango, we have the pawpaw, we have the soursop, we have some oranges, and we have bok choy. See the bok choy? Yep. And we have some peppers. There's your pepper. So go out there and enjoy whatever it is that you like to eat. There's nothing wrong with it. Whether you're a vegetarian, you're a meat eater, you only eat fish, whatever you eat, just enjoy it. Because God knows eating is good. Good. That's why I have this right here from all the eating I'm doing. Bye.